My name is Sister Delia O'Connor. I'm a Mercy sister. I lived and worked in Mount Trenchard in Foynes by the banks of the Shannon for about 12 years. And then in 1986, I went to work in Brazil, in the northeast of Brazil, in the state of Paraíba. I had been working as a guidance counsellor and a French teacher and a religion teacher in a second level school, middle class area, and I had been always interested in equality and in social justice issues, and I was reading a lot on liberation theology at the time, and there was some search in my heart for some kind of revival, and I could see that what I was doing in the classroom, it was okay, but I just needed something bigger. I needed something from a global community experiential point of view. So the Sisters of Mercy had a place in the northeast. They were just deciding on it, and the way they went about their mission appealed to me. They didn't just go out and start schools, but they travelled around Brazil, and at that time you were in Brazil, they were emerging from the military regime to being a democracy, and liberation theology was rife, and there seemed to be a great hope of promise. So I went to Brazil and I joined 4 others, and there were 2 others came around the same time as me, so we were 6 of us were there at the time. 3 had been there in previous 3 years, and then we went and we were just living without a language, nothing Portuguese, because you were told do nothing, wait for the people and just develop programs around the people's needs. But then we went, after a couple of months, we went to language school, a language and enculturation course in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, and there were about 33 or 4 nationalities doing that course. At the end of that 4-month course, you had to do what they call an estágio, would mean 10 days with a family living in the periphery of the city. I remember the family I lived with, they had 1 room and we were all in the 1 room. The father and mother were 1 bed, the brother and sister were in 2 other beds, and thankfully I had a bed on my own, and it was lovely and clean, and it was over a little shop, that little huckster shop in the bottom. But I always remember that woman, they shared everything and they didn't want anything in return. That was such a wonderful open sense of hospitality. In my job I just got 3 years, and then I asked for an extra 2 years, and I got that, and the minimum in an area is 5 to 7 years if you develop leaders and move on, because in our philosophy people could develop too much dependency on it. So then I didn't want to wait. I decided if I took another 7 years, I'd stay on site for good. So I came back then and I did a year in the States. It was a transition year, and then I looked at, it was just really bringing home some of the richness of the experience, and I would say it was a window of opportunity that was open to me that I will always prize and consider. Actually, there during the summer we marked the 25 years of the mission in Brazil, and it was just so wonderful that we could bring home some of those liturgies and the facts, and we had it down in Tipperary because it was from there the sisters went out first. But like, it just dawned on me, at the offertory procession, an empty saucepan was brought up, an empty pot, and like, while it might seem unreal to us, it was so real where we are, when they had no food, people have just literally dying of hunger. It's actually worse coming home than it is going out. I remember the first 6 months was crying. It's like losing a baby or losing something. It's the greatest pain. I found it far worse. Initially when I came home, Frank McCourt's book Angela's Ashes was out at the time, and I heard him being interviewed one time, and he said the best thing about Limerick is it's near an airport. And I was so lonely for Brazil at that time. I said, that's a possibility. There is an airport near it. But like, I'm quite settled at home now, and I don't think it would cost me anything to go move back and live there. But I'm very happy in where I'm living. I came back in 92, 93. I felt the old Celtic tiger was getting stronger in Ireland, but I think the influx of people into our country has happened so quickly in the last 5 years. I'm not even going back longer. It has really come upon us and we're not ready for it, even though we might think we are sometimes. We're being challenged more now through the media on our integration process, on our whole openness to the stranger. It's slow, but I think attitudes have to be broken down, and this is a lifelong process.